Thank you, Professor Nnah, for joining us on the news.
Good evening and welcome, viewers.
Now, let's begin with the political antecedents of Nasir El-Rufai. Would you consider the former governor of Kaduna State a blessing or a baggage to the coalition, particularly if it would actually be part of the coalition to bring a change that is so desired by many?
Former Governor Nasir El-Rufai and former Minister of Federal Territories, Abuja, is a controversial figure. Whether it's considered a baggage or an advantage to the coalition is neither here nor there, and I will explain what I mean by that. You see, if you are looking at it from the point of view of his electoral value as a person and vis-a-vis what he did in 2019, you might say it's a baggage because people don't forget easily. Even if they do, the internet doesn't forget. It's alleged that they threw in the gates or the borders of Nigeria for other Fulanis to invade the country. He was a major player in that. Although President Muhammad president, but El-Rufai was a major player in that. And we recall too that asking for 100 billion or thereabouts, and I understand that the same Nasir El-Rufai. However, among the Fulanis, he still wields a very strong influence. And in Kaduna, for instance, the man at the saddle now does not favor the Fulanis. Because right now, the southern Fulani that was forgotten in the past has been getting some infrastructures in his administration. And I think the northern part of Kaduna is not happy with that. So if you look at it from that angle, you can see that he still has certain jokers to play when it comes to election. However, I'm quick to say this. It is too early in the day to begin to say what will happen or what will not happen. Recall that even the politicians themselves are running helter-skelter now. Initially, he moved over to SDP, and they said the SDP was going to be the rallying point for the coalition. But today, ADC is equally coming up as a rallying point. So the question is it SDP or ADC? However, recall that this last weekend, Peter B spoke and he said he was not leaving the Labour Party. So where does this place us? That's why I say it is too early in the day. In politics, 24 hours is a very long time. Okay. So it is too early in the day to begin to say what will happen or what will not happen.
Okay.
However,
we might still touch on Peter Obi if time permits. But then we still dwell on the former governor, that is Nasir El-Rufai, who actually campaigned for President Tinubu, but for some security indictments, failed to actually secure a Senate endorsement for him to become a minister. But then looking at him and his personality, do you see a man who's actually driven by ideology, or is it just for personal gains?
He's a politician, and a Nigerian politician for that matter. All Nigerian politicians are driven by their pockets, by apologies to Oshokomole, the former governor of Ekiti State. They are driven by stomach infrastructure. I can tell you that for free. Because he was one of those that went to court before the election in 2023 because of the money redesign policy. and he went to court to favor the current president, himself and the governor of Kogi State. Now, because he lost the ministerial slots, he got angry with the party and is now leaving the party. You can see that, you know, the interest, what is mine in it is what the problem here. Everybody is looking for his pocket. What am I going to gain? If I'm not going to gain anything, then there's no need, you know, throwing my weight behind anybody. So that's what's going on here. Why I brought the angle is that I recall that it has been bandied that is going to be the vice presidential candidate of Obi, and another angle is saying that Atiku is proposing Obi to be the vice presidential candidate. That's why I said some of these things are permutations. Some of these permutations are neither here nor there until the twilight of 2027. By the time we get to December 2026, January 2027, some of these things will become clearer because the election is coming up in May. So by January 2027, the coast will be very clear. Okay. So we know who is doing what or who is not doing what.
All right. Even as we continue to permutate, I'd like to also get your thoughts about Peter Obi. It was widely reported that he said that it would be staying in the Labour Party. He probably would be flying solo and not joining the coalition. And he also said that this might just be his last shot at the presidency. What do you think might actually happen in 2027 with him and the statements that he has actually made?
Let me tell you who politicians are. There are people that don't believe themselves. If you were around in 1993, the late Abiola did say that he would not contest again when these elections will come and the president will cancel and stuff like that. So in 1993, he came in as a presidential candidate. And as he was coming back, some journalists met him at the airport, international airport, and said, Chief, you did say that you are not going to contest again. And we learned that you have taken the ticket of SDP. He said, oh, and so you believe that? Then you are not a politician. So if they believe that he said he wasn't going to contest, they are not politicians, they are journalists. So if a politician tells you something, then, and you believe it, you're on your own. Because we had even President Muhammad Buhari crying on television and said he will not contest again. But we saw what happened in 2015. He was brought back to contest again. So a politician telling you he will not contest again is just one of those gimmicks. Maybe to make you believe that, please, support me this time around because I might not have another shot at it. So I will take that with a pinch of salt, although people differ. But then, judging from the political space we have in Nigeria today, I don't want to believe any politician who says he's not going to contest again, because tomorrow somebody will come and dangle a carrot and give them 1,001 reasons why they should contest and tell them how Nigerians love him and want him to be there. And you'll see him coming back to say, I'm sorry I said this before, but right now I'm doing it because Nigerians want me to do that.
Okay. All right, so finally, earlier you talked about which coalition would be formidable enough to cause an offset, maybe the SDP, the AP, the SDP or the ADC, but then maybe the PDP too. But then we've seen massive defections from the PDP to the APC. How would you react to that?
I said it earlier, I've said it on one national television, that there's going to be an implosion in APC. Watch out. Let me start from Delta. You saw what happened in Delta when the present governor, the former governor, all the legislators, local government chairmen now decided to move over to APC. Now, the number one person in Delta, Omar Agege, that was a former deputy Senate president, who is the leader of the party in Delta, did not come out to welcome them. It was the current Minister of Aviation that came to welcome them. And let me tell you what's going to happen. Recall that in elections, either the head of state, the president, or the governor is given the first offer of refusal. So if the PDP man crosses over, is accepted. Because right now, as we speak, he has not been accepted in APC because they said they want to see his resignation from PDP because before they can register him as an APC member. So just like the Supreme Court told us, when 27 members left PDP for APC in Rivers State, that it was a television defection. We are taking the Delta defection as a television defection until they do the needful. Having said that, you now discover that there are about 4 people gunning for that will be gunning for the ticket in 2027. The current governor that is moving over to APC, Omar Gege, that has indicated his interest before now, the aviation minister that is eyeing that position, and Ned Nwoko that is equally partially eyeing the position. So you see, there are 4 giants that will be gunning for that position. That will tell you what's going to happen in that. I recall what politicians do. Once they are not favored, the next thing is that they find another political party where they can go and carry out whatever they want to do. Okay. So that's why I'm saying it is too early to begin to say people are defecting this and that. Yes, they are defecting. We are seeing television defections. But when the rags, when we get to the rag stars, we'll begin to find that there are devil in the details that we are not seeing right now.
All right, Professor Semion Nnah, thank you so much for talking to us at this time.